Hello, this is Brian again. Welcome to my second clip of my Mission Trails outing. My first outing since moving from North Orange County to South Central San Diego County. So, if you've seen a lot of my videos in lowland Orange County and Riverside County, you'll notice a lot of familiarity. Well, we have a lot of the same species of plants down here too. Here in San Diego County as well. There's a lot of species that are common to the whole Southern California region, or Southwestern California region. So once you get over the higher mountains, it becomes a whole different ball game once you get up into the mountains and over them, of course. So never be surprised to see down in these lowland canyons, sometimes as high as a little over 5,000 feet, but usually lower. Beautiful old California sycamore. This is a tree I grew up with as a kid. Have a lot of good memories with this tree, this species. Platanus racemosa, the beautiful California sycamore. It just smells so good because these trees' fuzzy leaves kind of give off a very soft and very woodsy aroma. Especially when the leaves are young, they're really fuzzy. They got a lot of trichomes and hairs on them. Of course, another plant contributing to the woodsy aroma is this small shrub here, Baccharis salicifolia, subspecies salicifolia. Some people call it seep willow, but it's not a willow. I learned it as mule fat, and that is one species, or one name, that I use for this species. And more red willow, Salix laevigata. I'm wondering if Salix lasiandra would be around here. There's actually quite a bit of diversity along the San Diego River for crazy tree species that just make up a lot of our diversity. Of course, western or Fremont Cottonwood. It's very common in this area, actually. You think of Fremont Cottonwoods as being those lonely, those trees that are along those old desert washes. Well, yeah, very much is at home in desert canyons. Very much is. But if you drive on Interstate 5 near Camp Pendleton, the Marine base in northwestern San Diego County, you'll see Fremont Cottonwoods growing right next to the ocean. So it's another one of those plants that takes up a lot of ecological niches here, the Fremont Cottonwood. So I've seen it at sea level right by the freaking ocean, and I've seen it at 6,500 feet in the San Gabriel Mountains. So Fremont Cottonwoods take up a lot of real estate. I'm guessing the trail goes up here. Let's see. And so yeah, we are in the beautiful coastal sage scrub, and it seems to be predominantly white sage takeover over here. A lot of white sage over here. Salvia apiana. Of course, late spring means blooming. And black carpenter, oh, that's a bumblebee. I thought it was a carpenter bee at first. And of course, no trip to lowland Southern California, south and west of the deserts, is complete without seeing Malosma lorina. Morning. Floral sumac. Yep. Sure brings back lots of memories of being a kid, hanging out in these little canyons and stuff. More beautiful sycamores. Do you notice a lot of the sycamore trees are multi-trunked? Sycamore trees can often be very much multi-trunked. It's usually because of disturbance. You see here, you see a multi-trunk thicket right here. A lot of it due to resprouting from the base. Sycamore trees are known to resprout from their bases like a lot of our chaparral shrubs. Pretty much an adaptation to surviving in a very dynamic and sometimes violent environment. A lot of sycamore trees we'll see out here in SoCal are multi-trunked. So some of these trees may be very old. Very old. I've seen some, if you go west of here on 52, you end up near La Jolla, just east of La Jolla, you got San Clemente Canyon. You'll see a lot of very old sycamore trees where the old trunks have died, and then these younger stems sprouting up near the base. Well, here's another example right here. So this tree might be much older than we think. Sometimes these trees can get huge. They have been known to exceed 100 feet in height, which is usually not super common for lowland trees here in this area, especially because it's such a dry climate. But sycamore trees have been known to get quite large. I've seen them too. There are a couple of really large ones in San Clemente Canyon, along the main San Diego trail, the San Clemente Canyon trail on the bottom, the big wide double track. You'll see some very large specimens, and then specimens that used to be humongous that have these dead snags sticking up, and then you'll see a bunch of younger healthy trunks that have sprouted up from the base. So very resilient. That's one thing. Coast live oaks, I believe, can resprout from their bases as well. They can also resprout from their branches when a fire comes. I've seen evidence of that plenty of times, where you'll see a coast live oak tree that has a bunch of nubs. It's like a burnt bunch of nubs. And then months later, you'll see green foliage sprouting from the branches. So our trees are very resilient. They have to deal with dryness, heat. They have to deal with all that stuff with nary a respite in between. And then sometimes we'll get torrential floods that'll rip through the riverbeds and tributaries, knocking over old trees. And then you'll think, oh, so new trees have sprouted. Well, there probably have been some that sprouted, but then you get a bunch of them that resprout from their bases. So it's just very interesting. It's very interesting to think of the dynamics of fire, flood, wind, heat, everything just jumping together and creating such a dynamic environment. But yeah, it's just really interesting. That's why I enjoy coming out and being able to speak on this kind of stuff, because I do read up a lot on stuff like that. I just find it extremely interesting. Not gonna lie, I find this stuff fascinating. Fascinating. to see a lot of areas where the climate's gentler and there's really not much drama going on. But it has been said that this area, especially here, San Diego County, is supposed to have some of the gentlest climate in the world. That is an extreme oversimplification. Extreme oversimplification. And that's coming from people who've only visited the coastline. The coastline where the temperatures are moderated by the ocean. Same thing up where I lived in Orange County. Pretty much all of Southern California. They say it's got the best climate in the world, it's so gentle and this and that. You'll be surprised at the insanity that can occur in our climate. And it's because it's not just one climate. It is a smorgasbord of microclimates. And that's the same just about anywhere you go. Microclimates. That's what makes things interesting. That's the thing that makes climate so interesting. Because we live in a very dynamically sculpted environment. We got the coastline, the coastal marine terraces. We got the little marine terraces here in southern San Diego County. You probably know you have these flat-topped hills, or relatively flat topography interrupted by a bunch of little canyons and channels, and that's the mesa region here in San Diego County. The coastal mesas that are literally marine terraces set by oceanic activity over many eons. And then you get the hilly interior like this, the hilly interior inland areas. We got small hills, and eventually you reach up with the major peninsular mountain ranges like the Palomars, the Cuyamacas, the Lagunas, and a lot of those mountains are above 5 and even some above 6,000 feet in elevation. So you're going to have a whole set of microclimates there. You have south-facing slopes that are primarily chaparral, that get really hot in the summer and cold, very cold nights. And then on the backside of those ridges, there'll be areas of tall timber like Jeffrey pine, sugar pine, incense cedar, white fir, bighorn Douglas fir, that are accustomed to getting snowed on in the winter and can get quite chilly. So, and then behind that is the desert, which is divided into layers of elevation as well. So you're sitting, say you're sitting at Mission Bay, San Diego. It's the middle of July and it's gloomy and overcast. It's probably maybe 67 degrees. Maybe the sun will peek out later and it'll get maybe up to 71 by Mission Bay. 5 miles inland, it's already like 78. Coming here, it's probably like 85, maybe 90. A little further in, 95. So, it's very complex. It's a very complex array of microclimates. And since it's so dry here, there's often a very dramatic demarcation between north and south facing slopes. Like I had mentioned, higher up in the lagunas, south and west facing slopes are usually chaparral. And a lot of times when you get on behind the ridges, on the shadier sides, then you'll have conifer forests, pines, firs, and incense cedars, and all that other fun stuff. So, just think of that. Just think about that when you're considering San Diego and Southern California. It's all a gentle, easy climate. Parts of this county regularly get over 110 degrees in the summer. Some of the coastal areas might not get above 75 for weeks on end in the summer. Some areas get 10 inches of rain. Some areas get 25 to maybe even up to 40 inches of rain near Palomar Mountain. And in some areas might not see a drop of rain in a whole year. So some places in this county it snows on a somewhat regular basis in the winter. Late fall through early spring months, we'll get periodic snow storms. People say, "Hey, you're a new resident here in San Diego County. How come you know so much?" Well, it's because it's a very similar thing throughout Southern California. LA County has, a moderate coastal climate, moderate coastal plain climate, where it's moderated by morning clouds and fog during the hottest times of the year, and then also has interior foothill and sage scrub chaparral, and then has high mountain peaks with pines and firs and stuff like that. So we're just a little further south here, that's all. But here it is, beautiful San Diego River Valley. I think I'm gonna get off of my soapbox for a while to get back to the trail. Is that a bullfrog? Heard something calling in there. Sound like jug of rum. It's supposed to be it sounds like it might have been a bullfrog down there. Oh well. Well, I think I'll get off the soapbox for a while and just head back and look for more spotlight videos. So I hope you enjoyed this 2-video set of me blabbing about microclimates and blabbing about plants. Here's hoping I find some more cool stuff. I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.